Hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and make our center punch today. So if you come back here, I have this cardboard tube. This is 01 drill rod, so when you're done with it, please make sure to put it back in the cardboard tube. We want 1/2 inch material. And what you'll find if you measure from the end of your tape measure, it's kind of tricky to sometimes see where your measurement is. So if you just find a random inch, line it up with the inch, then you can measure that real easy. So that is 1/2 inch. We're gonna go ahead and take it over the bandsaw and get it cut. Okay, we're over here at the bandsaw. Most people want to measure from the end and put a mark on their piece and then line that up with the blade. The easier way to do that is to just take your tape measure and just bump it up against the edge of the blade, and then you can just slide your material in and out until you get to 4.5. And on the back side here, make sure you tighten the vise. And on the trigger, you have to slide that little red switch down to be able to get the blade going. Okay, now that you're all done, go ahead and take your material out and put that back in that cardboard tube. Okay, I went and got my piece chucked up, and I did my Z and X offset. If you don't know how to do that, go watch the how to do your tool offset video. Now over here, I am in my folders. Remember, it's a little bit different to get into the folders on each lathe. On lathe 1, 3, and 5, you're going to push MDI program conversions. And then on lathe 4, you're going to push MDI hand jog. And on lathe 2, you have to push MDI hand jog, and that will get you into these folders. They might look a little bit different, but they run about the same. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this chamfer on the end here, just a small little chamfer. And make sure you have about 1 inch hanging out in your chuck. So we're going to go over to, remember, cancel. Cancel gets you out of folders, enter gets you into folders. So I'm going to push cancel. I'm going to come over here to, I don't want to use the chamfer folder, I want to use the chamfer and radius folder. I'm going to push enter. Now I'm not doing a radius, I don't want it to be round. I'm doing an outside diameter chamfer. I want a straight cut like that. So push enter on that. As far as a lot of these numbers, if you look at your sheet here, these are on all the backs of all the machines. Tool 1 always, work offset 54 always. Depth of cut 10 thousandths always. So tool number 1, work offset 54. Z start point, that one wasn't on the sheet. You zeroed it at the end of your material here. You want it to start at where you zeroed it, or do you want it to start further out or further in? So if you want it to start further in, you go negative. If you want it to start further out, you go positive. Most of the time, this number is just going to stay at 0. Outside diameter, Z start point is 0. Outside diameter is 0.5. And I know that because I took a micrometer and I measured this. You might want to measure your own. Chamfer, that's just the length of it. So from where it starts to where it ends, it's going to be 50 thousandths long. 0.05. We've already got 0.05 in there. The angle is 45 degrees. We've already got 45 degrees in there. Depth of cut, I told you it was going to be 0.01. Step number 24 there, depth of cut, always 10 thousandths. Feed per revolution, if you look at the chart here, for mild steel, feed per revolution is going to be 0.008. And then the SFM is going to be 200. So feed per rev is at 0.008, SFM is at 200. Tool nose radius is always going to be 0315. And to figure out your max RPM, it is going to be SFM, it's step number 25 there. Your SFM times 4 divided by your diameter. So SFM, 200 times 4 gives you 800, divided by your diameter, which is going to, SFM times 4, so 200 times 4 gives you 800, divided by 0.5 is going to give you 1600. I'm going to go over to max RPM, or make that 1600. And before we run this, our rapid, we always want to make sure that's on 5% the first time. So I push the button, check it on my screen, make sure it goes to 5%. And then to start this, we need to make sure our door is closed. We're holding on the hold the run button. Now we're going to push cycle start twice. Okay, chamfer's down on that side. I'll go ahead and flip it around and get back to you. Okay, I went ahead and flipped it around. You have to be kind of careful on this one when you flip it around because we're going to do a longer chamfer here. So it's going to be 660 thousandths long. So we have to make sure we have more hanging out on the truck than that, or hanging out of the front of the truck. So what I did is I set my calipers to 0.9. That'll be plenty. And you can either measure that way from the little shelf right here to the end, or you can flip it around and you can measure that way. Okay. Once you get it measured, you get your chuck all locked down tight. Go ahead and do your Z offset off the end. We don't need to redo the X offset because our diameter hasn't changed since the last time we did the X offset. We'll go into the chamfer, we'll go into the OD chamfer, do 1, offset 54, start at 0. Outside diameter is still 0.5. Our chamfer length is now 0.66. I'm gonna type in 0.66. Is 0. Our angle to go with that chamfer is gonna be 15 degrees. 15.0. Depth of cut will still be 10, feet per rev will still be 8 thousandths. Max RPM is still 1600, two nose radius is still 0315, and SFM is still going to be 200. So none of that has changed. 5% rapid, make sure it changed. And let's go ahead and cut this chamfer. Go for it. Once it does its first pass successfully, you can go ahead and speed up the rapid to 50%. Okay, we have the big chamfer done. Now we can do the little chamfer to add the point on the end. And that looks like that's going to be 0.1 long at a 45-degree angle. So I'm just going to come in here to OD chamfer. Do 1, offset 54, start 0, outside diameter. Chamfer length is going to be 0.1. And we are going to have to play around with that number to get it to do what we want it to do. The angle, what did I say, 45 degrees, 45.0. Depth cut down. Everything else is going to be the same. So rapid, 5%. Cycle start. So obviously we didn't cut anything there. So we're going to trick the machine, and we are going to make it come further back, so it cuts further into it. I'm not sure what this number needs to be. I'm just going to set it to 0.2. We're going to run that again. So we got a little bit on the end there, but it looks like we still have a little bit of a flat spot. So let's go ahead and increase that again. We'll bump it up to 0.25. And now looking at your center punch, it should come to a nice point at the end. Once you're at this point, you're ready to harden and then temper. And come talk to me and I will help you with that.